BBC Sounds.
Hello everybody, you stumble through questions that you could never answer. I'm Colin Murray, this is Fighting Talk. Honestly, if anyone gets the opening lyric without an internet search, I'll be flabbergasted. There'll be people in the band that won't get that opening lyric today. We shall see. Live football, Six Nations rugby on the menu from 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra today. So absolutely loving that. But first of all, let's do Fight and Talk. First up, one of the show's most competitive panellists. So she'll not be happy with her record so far this season with just one win from her past 5 shows. However, when she does make the final, watch out. She has 11 wins and only 1 defeat in Defend the Indefensible. Pretty sure she's going to get there today, given that she's a Manchester City fan, and I really want to ask her.
I am similar to City this season, Colin. I'm not up to my usual high standards.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a couple of logo. No, forget it. We'll just go on from there. Natalie Pike is here. Next up, a comedian making his 5th appearance, but last time out was a long time ago, and he was ejected from the studio. But it was so long ago, I can't remember why. So we're just going to move on. He's been let back in. I only remember he's a former employee of the Boston Red Sox.
That's true.
Right?
I don't remember why either. I have no idea.
Do you know when I've said that, I realise why? Alex Edelman's theme tune is shipping up to Boston. That makes sense now. There you go.
Fantastic.
You all right?
Yeah, man. Good to be back 3 years later.
Yeah. What was a passport issue?
Maybe there was something funny happened between 2020 and now. So
I can't imagine what it could have kept you out of this.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's
right.
Oh yeah, welcome back. In the chair beside you is a Fighting Talk Hall of Famer, making his 123rd appearance on the show.
Ridiculous.
Wow.
Oh my God.
He's finally found some form. He's made 11 finals in his last 12 shows when he hated them. Like literally the 110 shows before that were awful. Yeah. But he's on this run now. My final guest is another comedian, a Man United fan who's making his 6th appearance. He's still looking for his first win, which may have something to do with the fact he's a Manchester United fan. So there it is with us as well. So Natalie, Alex, Martin and Kay, let's get on with the first questions about this.
And now a mistake. Cleworth has made a mistake. And it's a chance for Billy Sharp. 2-1 Sheffield United. It's stoppages at the end of the 90 minutes of the replay.
Yeah, Sheffield United striker Billy Sharp not happy with Wrexham, and he voiced it after the Blades' victory in the FA Cup. Apparently he was shouting, shove it in on the documentary. Shove it on the documentary at the Wrexham players. Now, Wrexham will say he behaved like a spoiled brat. I just got to let you know this. I don't care. It's just a peg for a question, so give me a break. When have you not bought into the hype of a sporting fairy tale? When have you not bought into the hype of a sporting fairy tale? Natalie?
Right, don't cancel me until you've heard my explanation for this one, because it's been called the most beautiful fairy tale in football. Yeah. But not to me, Colin. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever been nervous about saying an answer on this show. Christian Eriksen.
Wow.
Wait.
Wow.
To Manchester United. Okay.
Oh, jeez, that's okay.
Phew. That's what I said. Everyone breathe.
Complete.
Obviously, what happened to him, absolutely gut-wrenching, awful, one of the worst moments in football history. Everyone watched that moment hoping that he was okay, and everyone was so happy when he got his career back. We thought his career was going to be over. I mean, the man nearly died, and 204 days later, he's back playing for Brentford.
Brentford's a fairy tale.
That's the fairy tale.
Yeah,
we loved that. What a team to go back to. If he'd only stayed there, that would have been the greatest fairy tale in football history. But then no, he rejects staying at the lovely, fluffy Brentford and he goes and signs for Manchester United. And I heard people saying, everybody's so happy for him. No, I'm not. No, I'm not happy for him.
Brentford's a fairy tale.
Brentford's a fairy tale.
Yeah, that's your 101 Dalmatians right there. That's just Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
The other one was like Pixar at best.
Thank you.
Yeah, which may own Disney. I don't know. I don't care. Not up to date in things, Alex, these days. What have you got for me?
Mine is also football players coming to other teams. Mm-hmm. I am so sick of you Premier League folks treating Major League Soccer like your retirement home. I have had enough of these fantastic Premier League players 20 years after they were good athletes coming to the Los Angeles Galaxy, coming to Thierry Henry, Gareth Bale, Robbie Keane, Steven Gerrard. These guys, instead of, if it was horse racing, they'd be shot. But instead, they're sent to Los Angeles. They're sent to these, and it's supposed to be a competitive game for us. And it was treated like this gorgeous thing when Beckham came. Everyone thought it was this, oh my God, we're a top flight league now. And what it really meant was that we get sold the same myth again and again and again of this savior who has been put out to
that bit where David Beckham stayed and founded a team and increased the entire profile of the league.
Yes.
It shows he doesn't care about Major League Soccer.
Well, that's the issue, though. Like, stop calling it soccer and we might not treat it as a retirement home.
So, well done. Kae starts in -2 today.
But look, for him, it was real.
Soccer's an English word. The Americans used it because at the time we were using it. That's why.
But for Beckham, it was real. For Beckham, it was a real fairy tale. For Beckham, it raised the league's profile. It made kids want to play. But since then, it's been cynically cashed in on by every single team, every single athlete looking for a last huge payday.
And all those American owners as well. They just don't want those Premier League stars. Like, please don't come and sell us shirts. So I'm with you.
I love how it's an American asking for more equality in sports. It's just like, this is brilliant.
You can have one of those boys back, but not both. Martin.
Yeah, the fairy tale I'm not buying into is the Tour de France from 1999 to 2005.
Yeah.
Cancer survivor Lance Armstrong. Now, who has gone through a serious injury and doesn't know about pharmaceuticals? I mean, the Tour de France is all about pharmaceuticals. We know that. And I happen to know from personal experience, you can get your hands on pretty well anything if you've gone through a serious... they won't deny you anything if you've gone through a serious disease, as he did. I didn't buy into any of that Tour de France stuff. When he was too American, he was too clean cut. Just didn't make sense. I'm not buying it, and he shouldn't have been selling it, as has been proven.
It was true. We used to, if you got like a migraine or anything, when Martin was really ill, you just call him. Martin, throw us something down. I know I got you covered. Call. No worries. Tenner in the kitty. I just want to clip
you were calling me the Walter White of Wakefield for a while.
The Walter White of Wakefield's sensational, isn't it? Like the Bard of Salford. It sounds great. Kae, point down already. Let's see what happens here.
Lionel Messi winning a World Cup. Right,
Yes.
I was not here for it. Right, it was confusing enough having a World Cup in a winter without English fans supporting Argentina. We're meant to hate Argentina and Germany, like bordering on the lines of xenophobia, right? We shouldn't be cheering on Argentina to win. And everyone's like, oh, isn't it great for Lionel? No, it's not. I don't care.
Yeah. It's called Lionel, by the way. I just got to make that clear. It's Lionel.
Exactly. There we go. So I wasn't buying it at all, man. I don't care if he won it or not. I just wanted to see a good game.
Yeah, love that. That is a very strong first round. Everybody got 6 points each. Well, you actually got a bit more because that was my favourite answer, but you were behind for doing this soccer cliche. But everyone now has 6 points each. Very good. Question 2 comes from Andrew, who's on the line. Hi, Andrew. You all right, mate?
Yeah, hi, how are you all?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how they are. Don't worry about that.
No, Andrew, thank you for asking. I'm lovely. I appreciate it.
God. This is your theme tune forever. Now, listen, not everyone gets something as cool as this. But your Twitter handle's Avid Rambler, so we give you Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. How's that? You happy with that?
Oh, I'll take that. Yeah, cool, thank you.
Good stuff. Right, what's your question?
So, the Chinese deny it, the Americans are adamant.
Yeah.
But what's the best bit of spying in sport?
There's so many good ones. It's a great question. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for that question, Andrew. You stay there with your theme tune of Led Zeppelin. Ramble On. We did have Dark Side of the Moon until Thursday, but it was a late change. Martin, what have you got?
Colleen Rooney.
Yes.
Brilliant. I mean, it's already been a TV documentary. It's going to be a full drama. And it was just brilliant. I mean, for those of us who like Lost Causes, watching Rebecca Vardy coming up with her justification and watching her lawyer, you were thinking, what? What are you saying in a court? It was just absolute nonsense. And now it's going to be... I mean, she clearly didn't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be a drama as well. Could there be a better bit of spying? And Colleen did it. You know, Agatha Christie, all that.
What sport does
Fantastic.
Colleen play again?
You know, if somebody... She's still at sport. It counts. It counts. You know, if somebody sort of said, yeah, you're king for the day or you're queen for the day, and you can stop social media or not. It's a really close call, isn't it? It really is. It causes a lot of damage. I probably would close it down, but Wagatha Christie might be the thing that says, you know what, let's give it another year.
Yeah,
just in case we have another day like that. Yeah. It was glorious. Alex, tell me about the greatest bit of spying in sport.
Okay, so there was the Houston Astros were stealing signs from the from opposing teams. It was absolutely gross. But a few weeks ago, I was performing at a benefit, the Pedro Martinez Gala. And he's a former Red Sox player, and there were a bunch of Astros there. And the way they were spying was they were banging on trash cans to let the other teams, to let their athletes know that they had the other team's pitches. And so I brought a trash can on stage with me, and I started hitting it. And I was like, it's a joke for some of the Houston Astros in the room. And like, someone pulled me aside who played for the team, and they broke it down, like how they did it. And it was absolutely incredible. Yeah. Like, they had like little buzzers underneath their jerseys, like the coolest thing in the world. And yeah, it's absolutely disgusting, and they should be stripped of their titles, but also an incredible bit of sport.
Yeah, we'll hate them forever for it. Yeah, we will do. Even though we're different teams, we'll hate them forever. Nat, give me some spying, please.
Okay, so it's Spygate itself, Spygate, and when Leeds United.
Yeah,
we're in Britain here. Yeah. When Leeds United were fined £200,000 for spying on Derby County during a training session. Oh. So it came to light. Derby phoned the police and said there was somebody suspicious outside. Yeah. Which, I don't know, you've all been outside football grounds when there's not a football game. There's loads of suspicious people outside. Autograph hunters generally are quite suspicious.
I call the police.
Okay. Yeah. So I wonder, what were they doing that was so suspicious? Anyway, they called the police, and did you know the police tweeted about it? Yeah. The police sent out a tweet saying, we've called today and we found something. They put a picture of the person in the back of the thing. Anyway, it turns out that it was someone from Leeds United that was sent there by Bielsa. Now, the best thing about it was Bielsa just fronted it out. Yeah. He held his own press conference. He explained there, and he told everybody what they'd done. And he said, I didn't just do it to Leeds. I did it to everybody. We've done it to every club. He fronted it out. Everybody ended up loving him even more. Yeah. It's brilliant.
That's the one that came into my head for Bielsa's response to it, which was just, let me explain to you how I did it. Yeah. So I think, great. Like, there was no politics. He went, it was me. And that was it. Kae.
Well, I'm going for the Spygate of Formula One in 2007 when McLaren Mercedes were fined $100 million for using Ferrari data to improve its own car. But the bit that I find hilarious about this is it was one guy photocopying 780 pages. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was just sat there like getting 780 pieces of paper and putting it in the right way, making sure it's the right orientation. I just find that incredible commitment.
Why wouldn't you just take pictures on your phone of each page?
Exactly, and it was in 2007. Camera phones existed.
Exactly.
Go into your local corner shop. Like, excuse me, is your photocopier working? And then just go for it. Like, it's just crazy.
Kae, never mind camera phones existed. Cameras existed. Right? We weren't on Polaroids. It's not like you'd have to change the Polaroid to like just a normal camera with a digital camera. Like, so a ridiculous situation.
Have you ever heard of this guy Mo Berg? Mo Berg was a baseball player. He was on a tour of Japan in 1941, with Babe Ruth, with like a whole bunch of incredible baseball players.
Give it to me.
And they absolutely. He said, he was a spy for the United States government, and he said, I'm actually a big fan of Air Force bases. Would you mind letting me tour Air Force bases? And the Japanese let him tour. Yeah. And he got all these photos, and they kept using it. And when they were bombing Tokyo, they were using Mo Berg's photos from this baseball tour.
That should have been his answer, but it wasn't.
No. I mean, you can. Natalie's very competitive. You can have that as I thought it'd be a little story, but I think that's an incredible story. And there's a movie that Paul Rudd, I think, is a star of called The Catcher Was a Spy. It's an incredible.
There's not a baseball movie I've never seen it, and now there is.
It's an incredibly. It's an espionage movie.
Wow,
that's
great. And you might say he's already had an answer, but he's just been given an extra 3 points for his add-on, so that's how it works, and that has him in the lead by 3 points now. But that could all change because you're going to give the bonus points out for us now. So what are you going to do, Andre?
I really like Alex's second story then, but you've already given him the point.
I did give him 3,
Kae's made me laugh, but the answer has to be Wagatha Christie.
Yeah, you know what?
I agree.
Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? Certainly fresh in our minds, isn't it? I would agree with that. Right, you have a good day, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Right, European Super League is back again with a revised plan, which now has an open competition involving 60 to 80 clubs. Chosen on sport, blah, blah, blah. Swallow the vomit. And just ask a question. But seriously, right? Can you even be bothered? We just sit in silence for 3 minutes at the state of football. Rather than pretend there's a conversation here.
Yeah.
Really, right?
Yeah, I mean,
How many cuts have you got on your body now?
it's annoying, isn't it?
As it just kills itself by 1,000
But
cuts.
I can I just say something serious for the time being, though, right? I feel
Well,
like.
no, let me ask the question first.
I mean, go on then, but
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna.
Would you vote for this new version? And if not, how would you change European football? Who should I go to first? Kay?
Do you know what? I wouldn't vote for it. I wouldn't vote for it. However, I don't like the new Champions League format that's coming in 2024, 2025 as well anyway. And they've got like coefficients and an element of like it's not being done by meritocracy. So with the European Super League, I feel like they're trying to do something where rather than UEFA get the money, they want all the money for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's just stems out of jealousy for the Premier League. We've become the best league in the world and people want a piece of it.
So you just, basically, that's how they get you. Because you start comparing bad to bad.
Yeah.
Which one's the least bad? Which one's, and they're not. And it's the thing is, we've all guilty of allow ourselves this stage where you need to get for financial sustainability 6 teams from one league into the Champions League, but then they're screwed. So it's, there you
But
go. That's where
we're
we're
getting
at.
to a stage where it's just like even the Champions League, they're going to want to have like a game every week of the season rather than the way it is now. And it's just going to get to a stage where it just becomes so saturated that you're not going to care when
I think it's past that. I mean, my goodness, the group stage of Champions League. Oh, that's what we get out of bed for these days. Martin, what have you got?
Yeah, what he said, basically.
Yeah, okay. Do you want the
as
same
far as-
points?
Yeah, I'll have his points, please. Only one Super League, and that starts on Thursday.
Yes,
It's
that's what I
Leeds-
want to hear.
yes.
Come on, let's
It's
have it.
Leeds Rhinos versus Warrington Wolves, Thursday. All
Yes,
starts.
come on. You get one more point than Kay got.
Yeah, 62 trophy.
So there you go. All right, Alex.
I am for the Super League. I think that, what, and hold on, wait. You know what they should do? It
You
should
would
also
be. You say soccer.
every single year they should also eliminate one team to make it even smaller and smaller. And then the last year it should just be an intra-squad scrimmage between teams of billionaires playing each other. Just 2 all-star teams from. It's disgusting. It's the most grotesque form of what I hate to say this. It's football American style.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just it's a capitalist entity that just gets rid of. I mean, Americans should love it. There's no relegation, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just, but it gets rid of the. I also don't understand why the owners would want it, because part of the history of the Premier League is the waxing and waning of team fortunes, right? Teams that were superpowers that lost sort of financial.
Yeah, but that's
backing,
exactly
felt-
what they don't want. I mean, that's exactly
Well, that's it.
what they don't
They
want.
want a set amount of income
It's not
every
about
year,
football.
regardless
it's not
of where they
about
come.
football. It's about revenue.
But
It's
I
not
don't-
about football. You take the word football out. If anytime anything doesn't make sense in sport, just think money. It was the best thing I ever heard anyone say to me when I was trying to work out how to do sports radio, and they were like, "If it doesn't make sense, it's money."
But
And
this
it applies to everything. It's a
but-
Bob Mills line, by the way.
But this Wrexham thing,
Yeah.
that's a good example of what football. Look,
It's not.
It's,
But
hold on.
it's not though. A Hollywood star buying a non-league football team is just it's lovely and well done, but it's part of.
But hold on.
Bury going out of business. What's happening or might not be happening at Man City, the European Super League. It's all connected. It's all connected. To
I
one
understand,
system
but
that
what
is
is
putrid?
But Colin, what I'm saying is, what's confusing about this is that used to be how billionaires made teams more valuable. They'd buy a team, they'd infuse it with tons of capital, then it became a big entity.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand the making something stagnant. I don't understand the actual value of
Yeah.
it.
Is it
By the
time
way,
for
if
Man
Todd
City fans?
Bowley's listening, Stagnant is a right back who plays for.
Yeah, it's like I said to the board at Ebbsfleet United, who I'm currently trying to buy. Natalie,
So, would I vote for the European Super League? If it's City's only option in a year's time, yes, I would. Give me the flag, the scarf, Super League, yay!
oh, I thought it was a good idea.
Oh, it's
That's
genius! Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah. Let's.
Yeah.
What's your view on emails? I don't say anything here about emails.
I mean, what everyone said, a world where the Champions League are the heroes is not a world that I'm also happy to be in.
Yeah.
The idea that they're going from 32 teams to 36 teams next year. It's one big league. But it's one big league with 36 teams, but you only play 8 games, and the top 8 teams go through to knockout stage, and the 9th to 12th team. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So here's my proposal of how to change European football, Colin. I'm a genius. I don't know how I've come up with this. Only let champions in to the Champions League.
Imagine, right? But you know what? Everyone's to blame for it. We all got a little bit of blame, but nowhere near as much as the people who run football. We all take a little crumb and they can have the cake. Right, it's a quickie. It's kind of all about... everyone takes a deep breath, don't they? What's the question here? Right, John Cleese is bringing back Fawlty Towers after 40 years. Who's the Basil Fawlty of sport? I'm really worried about Alex Edelman's answer. He has a look in his eyes as someone who knows, I'm not sure whether that's right for radio. Go ahead, Alex.
Tyson Fury.
Right.
He lives by the sea. I can imagine. I mean, I've seen the content that he puts on his Instagram of him just like taking out the bins or like washing the dishes. And like, I can imagine him opening up like a hotel in Morecambe just for the stuff. And he's had some questionable opinions that he's walked back here and there over the years. And so like, yeah, that's my answer.
Like it. That was nowhere near as bad as I thought. Ken?
I'll go Fulham Football Club. Like Basil Fawlty, they suffer from an identity crisis, and their fans probably call half-time the interval. So, Fulham Football Club.
What have you got, Natalie?
Someone who's excruciatingly schneid, sneaky, downright rude, Gianni Infantino, because you can see him saying, "Today I feel disabled," and also you can see when he lets Salt Bay on the pitch holding the World Cup. No, that's him.
Nice one, Martin.
Yeah, as the only person here who probably watched Fawlty Towers first time round, I can not only tell you who's the Basil Fawlty of football, I can pinpoint the exact episode of the glorious 12 episodes. The glorious 12 episodes of Fawlty Towers. There was one called Gourmet Night, right, where Basil Fawlty put this advert saying, "No riffraff," and it ruined the whole thing. Well, there is a footballer who is a hotelier. It's Gary Neville. He owns a hotel in Manchester called Stock Exchange, and he charges £1,750 a night in his hotel for a suite. Wow. And that is his way of saying no riffraff.
There you go. You say you've been waiting in that question for such a long time. None of this new modern stuff like the Champions League. Give me a question in Fawlty Towers.
Give me a question on
you know what they should do?
Served.
They should make, when they reboot it, he should be super woke. Like the wokest guy. Unreasonably
that would be
woke.
quite good. Right, Kay's got 21, Natalie's got 22, Alex has 24, and Martin has 25. So they're the scores. Very, very close so far. Right, something sporting that you feel we might not cover this week that you want to get off your chest. Let's start with Kelner.
Yeah, the Olympics, the Paris Olympics. So there are nations. Yes, there are nations in the Western, in NATO, etc., who are threatening to boycott the Paris Olympics if Russian athletes and Belarusian athletes are allowed to compete. Even though competing under neutral flags. Well, my view is that's totally wrong. It's virtue signalling of the worst possible kind, because it's rather like when we invaded Iraq because of the non-existent weapons of mass destruction. The British athletes weren't necessarily behind the government. We don't know that the Russians or the Belarusian athletes, to me it destroys the whole Olympic spirit if you boycott them. It's not politics, and you're talking about nations who happily went in 1936 to Berlin and participated in the Olympics there.
Yeah, I'd really happily like to talk about politics and Olympics, but I'm not going to. Kay, what have you got for me?
I've got...
Can you imagine?
Can we stop blaming VAR, basically? That's my argument. Can we stop blaming VAR? It's time to realise that the standard of officiating in this country is in the pits. We need to bring back a chance against the referee to get them back on side.
There you go.
VAR isn't the issue. It's the people officiating it. That was my answer.
Thank you very much. That is your answer. You mean it's not? Are you doing the show in past tense? Is that we're literally live? That was my answer. Yeah. Are you regretting it? Do you want to change it? Was that like you did, like just deflated? That was my answer.
I was just like, do you know what? I've had enough, Colin. Right?
Alex.
I think the UK is more interested in ice hockey than it realizes. The Belfast Giants, the Cardiff Devils.
No, we did.
Like the teams are very enjoyable live.
Yeah.
People really seem to love them. I was in Belfast. People were talking about the team as if, like with real love and respect. I think the UK needs a tiny bit more respect for ice hockey. It's very small, but I think, and it's a Canadian sport, but I think it's beloved here, and there's no way to watch it on television.
It's doing well considering that it doesn't get any of the coverage.
Coverage.
The Elite League is done really well. It's kind of like sustained its fan base. Like we still get a good crowd in to see the Giants. Whether it's Sheffield, Cardiff, there's teams that have just stayed there. The Coventry team, they've all just stayed there. They've all really stayed the pace. You know what I mean? They've made it work for them.
And Slapshot was on ITV3 the other day,
which is the big moment.
But it should be on ITV2, is what I'm saying.
Natalie, what's your any other sporting business, if you like?
I saw a headline this week that Cristiano Ronaldo had scored 4 times to surpass 500 league goals. No, he didn't. No, he's not. It's not real league. It's not a real league. It's not real goals. Stop it.
Are they not?
No.
Are they counting them all?
No, I'm not counting it. Don't give him records for scoring in Saudi Arabia. Stop it. His career's over.
What if he scored in Abu Dhabi?
No, it's not a real league. It's not. It's not. We're not adding that onto his 500 league goals. No.
But she makes a point that, like, if you're working out this stupid coefficiency stuff or whatever, it's based on leagues and also, right? Or if you're saying, like, how many major trophies you've won, you don't count the Charity Shield. So should it not be the same with goals, right? No, it should be the level that you're at, right?
Yeah.
So that
You're not
should
giving
be
him records for that, for going in. Yes.
You should be like, you scored that amount of goals in the Elite 5 leagues, and then this amount of goals in the rest,
Yes.
right?
It's still professional sport at the end of the day.
Okay.
What's that going to do with what I've just said?
No,
it's got
because-
nothing to do with it. I
because
didn't
if-
say he didn't get paid.
No.
I
You're
said
still
that the standard is
protecting
much
him.
lower.
I'm not a Ronaldo fan, but I'm saying, like, it is at the end of the day, it is still league goals. If we're going to count Pele's goals at like against farmers and stuff, then we've got to count that.
I didn't say you should count those either.
But by the way, that's true. Think of all the think of all the years that, like, the Spanish leagues and the French leagues weren't competitive, except for, PSG was running entirely roughshod over them, or
That's true.
Yeah.
You'd have elite league goals counted in leagues where you were so much better as a team.
Exactly, where Barcelona would win 15-0 against Sevilla or something like that.
It's a good point. Okay, we'll count Ronaldo's goals.
No,
we'll
we're
count
not.
them. We are.
I
We're
don't
counting them. We're counting them, but we're not counting Charity Shield.
No.
And in Manchester City's case, we're also not counting European Cups. We're back after the news and sport.
I just didn't want to let my family down, so that's why I sort of like push myself every single day.
Jermaine Defoe, Outside the Box, from BBC Radio 5 Live.
Join me for my brand new Fly on the Wall podcast in my quest to become a football manager. Just being able to look yourself in the mirror every day and just be like, you know what? I did everything right. I didn't cut any corners. From my roots in East London to 57 England caps, winning the Scottish Premier League and everything in between. The gift and the talent, that takes care of itself. But the hard work and the sort of like application, this needs to be day in and day out.
Jermaine Defoe, Outside the Box. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Welcome back to Fight and Talk this Saturday. We're live. 5 Live Sports on the way shortly. We just spent the whole news and sport arguing about participation in the Olympics. I've never been so glad to hear the theme tune again. Kae Kurd, Natalie Pike, Alex Edelman and Martin Kelner are all in the show today. Very, very close indeed. 2 points between first and last. That will change now. 5 points for one of you, none for the rest of you. Alex, this didn't exist last time you were on. The game changer round is all about this.
Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot at history. And there it is! LeBron stands alone!
There you go, made it a little easy for you. LeBron James, NBA history this week when he broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record that had stood since 1984. So what sporting person or team from 1984 is still better than anything that is around today? What a good question that is. Pretty sure never been asked because it makes no sense. Martin Kelner, let's go in order of age. As I say it, I don't know it. I don't know. I'm going to go eldest to youngest. We have no idea with you three. So, but I know Martin's the oldest, obviously.
Yes, obviously.
I mean, not with respect.
Yes, with respect. Thank you very much indeed. Boris Becker. Boris Becker, way better in 1984 than he is now. In In 1984, Boris Becker was a fresh-faced, ginger-haired kid. Boom, boom, Becker. It was. The thing about 1984, when he beat Kevin Curran in the final at Wimbledon, we'd only just stopped playing with wooden rackets. People forget that you used to play with wooden rackets. Only just stopped doing that in 1984. It was called Boom, boom, Becker because of the power of his ground strokes. He wasn't conceiving children in broom cupboards in 1984. He wasn't being involved in any financial...
I think you've misunderstood the question. The question is, in which sporting person was better in 1984 than they are now? The question is, which sporting person or team from 1984 is still better than anything else that's around now?
I twisted it because I wanted to talk about broom cupboards. But
basically, right?
Basically, yeah. But Boris Becker, in my view, is, he had that freshness there. Yeah. The ground strokes are brilliant. He's better than anything we've got now.
Could I fix your answer for you?
Djokovic.
Could I just fix your answer for you?
Yeah.
We maybe haven't seen a male teenage tennis star like that since 1984.
Correct.
There you
Absolutely.
go. Got you. Just put the age on him and you're sure he was. He's 17 then, or we'll check it. But...
I just forgot. No, he was 17, yeah.
So I think the second oldest might be Alex.
Sure.
Right, go ahead.
Torval and Dean.
Yeah, well, I think he's definitely then.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, 1984, speaking of the Olympics, 2 Olympics in 1984. Absolutely, we should have 2 Olympics a year. We should have a winter and a summer, and the best athletes in the summer get to do some stuff in the winter. They get to be part of the decathlon and, do the ski. But, I absolutely... Torval and Dean, that was the last ice golds for the UK, and
that's
it's
the
beautiful.
Fairy tale you're not buying into.
Bolero. No, it was the Bolero dance, right?
It was perfection.
Yes, it was.
Perfection.
Gorgeous. Still gets watched on YouTube in the United States, shown in America.
See, if you look through the window, that man was in the studio.
No way!
He was in the stadium.
No way! Was it amazing? He's not.
He's not on air.
Pete, it was cool.
He's not on air.
Pete's not on air.
Jeez. I always wanted to. It's one
not
of the things.
Frasier. He's not Ross.
I know.
Right? He's not. Next, quick call in. That's on that. All right.
If I had a time machine, that's one of the things I'd go back and watch.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Gorgeous ice dance.
Hard to beat that answer. Next, I'm going to go Natalie.
And I say thank you, Colin, because I reckon I'm definitely older than Alex.
Really?
So I was alive in 1984. Good skincare.
89. No! 89!
Okay.
Yes, skincare.
No, you were the two I wasn't sure what way I started.
Right.
Kai's the baby, but I think I've got that
right.
1990.
It's that Manchester City money. It keeps her young.
Right, name a better all-round athlete than... gold medalist in the Olympics that year, Daley Thompson. What an athlete. Now, he's an insane athlete, but the best thing about him, Colin, is his computer game. Yeah. Now, Daley Thompson's decathlon my brother had it on the Commodore 64. I was only 1 in 1984, by the way, but I remember playing it about 5 years later. I would say the most famous, most played athletics computer game ever. There still isn't one better. People have tried. Is there one better? Is there one more famous? They even brought it back not long ago. It's like an Android game. Now, my brother, I mean, look around everybody. If you've ever played a track and field game, everybody has their own style on how to slam the buttons, because you just had to press 2 buttons. And if you wanted, it was left and right, or if it was your joystick, it broke your joystick. Or if it was A, B, A, B, A, B. So mine was A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B with my thumbs. Yeah. My brother had the joystick that he broke. Yeah. My friend had a piece of cloth that he used to put on the
Is this turning into the Wonder Years or something like that?
And it was a stroking motion so that he didn't get a burning thing on his... Yes. So everybody had their own style, did you not? If you're not playing, you're all looking at me like you'd never played a track and field video game.
I can't make the joke that I want to make right now.
This is the thing, right? If you only hearing that answer, which you all are now, it is a very straightforward, very good answer. But if you were able to mute that answer and only look at the hand gestures, it was about something very, very different indeed. It's 84. And Daley Thompson is a very good answer. And I didn't think anything would get close, actually, to Torval and Dean, but you never know. Kay, what's yours?
So 1984 was a great year for NBA. The draft, Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley were drafted, but none other than Michael Jordan was drafted to the NBA. Without Michael Jordan, you wouldn't have LeBron James. You wouldn't have the fame of the NBA as it is now. And yeah, I mean, he's been influential well beyond sports. Like I'm wearing his jumper now. But also, with that thing with LeBron, everyone was celebrating it. Their team was 10 points down.
Yeah.
They stopped it. They started playing fireworks and all sorts, and the team was still 10 points down. But yeah, Michael Jordan.
That's interesting. He's drafted in 84.
Yeah, so he started playing in 84.
Yeah.
He was
very
drafted
good.
third, which is hysterical.
Yeah. I think I'm probably going to rule out Jordan because his draft wasn't his greatest moment. So he was
around.
It won't get any better than his last NBA ring. Do you know what I mean?
No, but he was around.
No, I know. I get he was around, but you're still not getting the point. I think 84 was the peak of both Torval and Dean and Daley Thompson.
Did they have a game?
I only know one of them, so I'll go with Daley Thompson because I know Daley Thompson. So there you go, and he'll be listening.
Right.
And he's an old man. It'll be a big thing for him. It'll be a big thing for him. Yeah,
for him.
Yeah. They're actually making a documentary on him, proper at last. The proper Daley Thompson documentary. I think Sky are making it. That's going to be brilliant. Right, there you go. Game changer out of the way. It was a bit long, but it was worth it. Let's get on to this. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire said this week in Manchester City's possible punishment for alleged breaches of the Premier League rules, about 100 of them, allegedly. It could be anything from don't do it again to fines, point deductions, or stripping of titles. What other sporting honours would you like to go back and strip away from teams or individuals just because you can? What are you taking away from them, Kay?
Verstappen's title, the one where they got Lewis out of it because on the last lap.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have got that. Lewis should have had that title. Take it away from Verstappen. Red Bull didn't deserve it at all.
Nice. Martin.
Yeah, Paul Gascoigne's gold disc for Fog on the Tyne. That's all.
Sorry, we got a Hallelujah remix then, the Fog on the Tyne. Is this it? It's brilliant, isn't it? Or Sky? Well, it's actually quite far off. Yeah. Right, there you go. Very good. You don't need to say anything else. I'll just give you loads of points for that.
Yeah, bless
Very good. Yeah, bless him. Alex.
Vince McMahon winning the WWE Championship in 2003 off The Rock and Steve Austin. Not acceptable. It's his own company.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have the moments like, you know, when Shane McMahon jumped off the top rope one side to the other, the trash can on Vince. It all ties together.
Sure.
You get rid of one, you have to get rid of some of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I still think it's...
It's preposterous.
If you come into the script reading for your fake sports thing and you're like, guys, you know who's going to win the championship today? Me. And The Rock and Steve Austin have to be like,
Really?
Okay.
You'd literally be like, what?
It's like, I'll hit you with a chair, then I'll hit you with a trash can. I know I have a dad bod, and you're the two most fit men I've ever seen, and I only wrestle in a suit, but still.
That's how the script reading went, where he's just going, chair, trash can!
Yeah.
Chair, trash can! Nat, what have you got?
I've got loads. England winning the World Cup in 1966. Let's get rid of that. Sick of them talking about it. Every time someone's won the Champions League when they weren't champions, so buy Liverpool, buy United on some of your trophies. And also my big one, the 2003 UEFA Cup final, Porto beating Celtic, Jose's first European trophy. Yeah. If he doesn't win that, does he become the monster that he does? And also everybody wanted Celtic to win that game, and Porto were like dirty and cheaty and time wasting, and it's when we first got to see Jose. So let's get rid of the ego monster Jose.
There you go. Dirty, cheating, time wasting, things you absolutely abhor as a football fan. Right, the next question is all about this.
Well, Rodri's given it away. Højbjerg is into this. Højbjerg to Kane! Harry Kane! Right foot! And that goal takes Harry Kane to the top of the Tottenham goal-scoring tree.
Week of records, hasn't it? Harry Kane broke Jimmy Greaves' Spurs goal-scoring record, stood for over 50 years, of course, scoring that goal against Man City on Sunday. I want to know what sporting records that you're tipping to fall next. So what am I looking out for? What have you got for me, Natalie?
Well, I've just started doing some work in horse racing for Race Day TV, and so it's Cheltenham in 4.5 weeks. I've been to Cheltenham a few times, but it'll be my first Cheltenham festival. I'm very excited, and I think Willie Mullins is going to break his own Cheltenham records as the trainer with the most wins. So in 2021 he had 6, 2022 he had 10. Now for this it's 4.5 weeks away. In half of the markets, sort of half of the 28 races, he already holds the outright or the joint favourite, and I just think he's going to just sweep the board at Cheltenham.
Do you notice how her voice changed when she did that?
I know, I went posh.
Right, right. It's like when I'm on Radio 4.
Okay.
Like
I
no one
noticed that.
recognises me, and I really try not to do it, but I do it every time.
Became less Mancunian.
Did I?
Yeah, I did
I
it
felt it, you know.
Yeah, I did it recently. Join us now, new countdown presenter, Colin Mouser, she was like, hi. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
It just comes out differently.
Was
You feel
completely
like you
different.
need to speak differently.
Normally, you listen to Natalie and it's like being in a bus queue at Hardwick Green. But now she's...
Now I'm acceptable down
That's
here.
That's a compliment, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah, I think
Well,
so.
listen, it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's
thank
good.
you.
I'm very glad you're doing that. You deserve it. You're very talented indeed.
Thank
You
you.
do what you have to do. Get
Thanks,
the tats
Colin.
covered up. Get the posh voice on. You do it. Love it. Brilliant. Good answer as well. Alex.
In the United States, people are very focused on the football records that might fall in the Super Bowl on Sunday, but the U.S. women internationally are crushing it. Michaela Schifrin might set the record for World Cup skiing. The Katie Ledecky might set the record in the next Olympics for most swimming medals by any swimmer, and the U.S. women's national soccer team may be the first team, male or female, to win 3 consecutive World Cups.
Yeah,
So
loads in there.
those are pretty. The U.S. women, those are going to be the record.
Love that. Love that. Because usually when someone goes solidly on their home country sports, it gets a bit boring. But he's so well researched, I love it. You know, he's bringing loads of good answers. Thank you very much, Alex. And you're funny. And you're funny.
He looks really proud.
Well, I
right
haven't
now,
seen him in
bless
ages.
Look at him.
Forgot how
Aw.
much I like him. Martin.
I think Everton's record as the having the longest period in the top flight, that's about to go, I think. All right, they're getting new manager bounce under Sean Dyche, who's turning them into Burnley, obviously. But unless they get the, behind the scenes sorted, and let's get the management of the club sorted, I mean, it's clearly not a very well-run club. They're going to be the new Sheffield Wednesday or the new Portsmouth. I mean, I think it can't happen, but, look at Sheffield Wednesday.
Who are the longest running side in the top flight? Who?
But what if Everton lose that title? Would it be Villa? No, it's Villa.
Arsenal?
Yeah,
Arsenal?
It's got to be
I think it might be
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
It's got to
Might
be
be
Arsenal.
We'll have a look.
Yeah.
Kay.
It's got to be Haaland breaking the Premier League goal scoring record. I think there's been this talk of him making Manchester City worse recently, and I just can't buy it. Like, the guy's an absolute freak of nature, scoring goals for fun, and he's just going to decimate every record.
Think he will.
This league scene.
Think you will. That question's over. Totally unrelated subject. Asking for a friend, right?
Right.
If a team were, let's pick any random team, Rotherham. Let's pick Rotherham or Wrexham or Liverpool or whatever. If you were to lose points, if you were to be deducted points, does the player lose the goals? So do they tell you? Do they say, right, we're deducting you 15 points, but it's these wins we're taking off you?
No.
So therefore, okay.
Why? Because then does the opposition goalkeeper gain clean sheets?
That's what I'm asking. Let's move on. It's our tribute to Monk of the Week. So obviously it was just a random thought I had. If this is the answer, what is the question? Alex, $49.99.
How much would I pay for Tom Brady's OnlyFans? Tom Brady is uploading shirtless pictures like there's no tomorrow.
It's brilliant. It's what ESPN's charging fans to watch the Tommy Fury Jake Paul fight in America. $49.99. Right, Natalie, 503.
The number of football clubs who want City expelled from all leagues.
That's probably about right, if not more. Right, so the answer to that was number of goals Ronaldo's now scored. Martin, it is a wolf disguised as grandma.
It's a wolf disguised as grandma. Who's leading Russia's Olympic participation bid?
We have the answer to that is La Liga's response to the European Super League proposals. And Kay, I was just making jokes.
It's when they asked Frank Lampard what he was actually doing on the Everton training ground.
It was Messi's brother's apology after saying Barcelona were only famous because of Lionel. Right, you're listening to Fight and Talk this Saturday afternoon. We're going to end on a one text round. Pamela Anderson revealed this week that she texted her ex-husband Tommy Lee to tell him he was her one true love before her Netflix documentary aired, which is well worth the watch, by the way. She says he never replied, but anyway, it's well worth it to watch that, and especially how sort of it addresses a lot of misconceptions and that fact think nowadays she made money out of that and all sorts of things which she didn't, and it's well worth watching. Anyway, I'm not a TV reviewer. I'll just move on and do my job by saying to you, what are your one-line text to sports people that you're pretty sure that you wouldn't get a response to? So one-line text you're pretty sure you would not get a response to. Kae Kurd.
To Pep Guardiola, do you have an offshore account?
Martin.
How are you finding South Africa, Cristiano?
Yes. Alex.
Jurgen, do you think the veneers are the problem?
Natalie.
After I nearly got cancelled from my first question, I'm going to text Christian Eriksen and ask if he fancies going for a coffee.
Right, very close. 1 point sliding scale. I don't know how this is working, actually, because Martin is on 40 now. This is ridiculous. I would have had you as the best performer so far, but hey, I don't make a... Oh, I do make the rules, so I don't know how you know that. It's my fault. Kay's on 41. Alex is on 42. Nat's on 43. So you see there that I've created jeopardy in an otherwise mediocre show. Would you like another question, or would you like to go straight and have more time on your any other business? I kind of feel with you need more time in your any other business because there's been a lot of big heated conversations today, so I'm going to do that. Okay. Let's start with Martin Kelner. What is your any other business?
My any other business. Roger Waters of Pink Floyd.
Told you would need time.
Roger Waters of Pink Floyd has told the UN Security Council that Russia's invasion of Ukraine was not unprovoked. Basically, Roger Waters is saying Putin's not all that bad. However, Dave Gilmour of Pink Floyd disagrees, and they're arguing this out on Twitter at the moment. I want to know who's getting their political opinions from rock bands.
Yes, thank you.
And personally, I'm waiting to see what Richie Blackmore of Deep Purple reckons before I make my mind up. Also, Lars Ulrich of Metallica, he must have a view, and I want to know. Given the amount, we talked pharmaceuticals earlier on, given the amount that some of these rock stars say, they don't have a platform to say what's happening politically.
Yeah.
So
I just want to clarify something that Martin just said when he said to me, we talked pharmaceuticals earlier on. If you're just tuning in, that was on the show, and it was about Lance Armstrong. Yeah. Just want to make that clear, because it's a very suspect line. Yes. It is bizarre. I mean, I'm not going to get into it because this isn't the show for it, but it's worth reading the full transcript of what he said and how it scatterguns around and all sorts of stuff. But Chris Sutton speaking to the UN next week. They're just asking people. He's doing a "you're better than that." He's doing a response, like he does in 606. He's doing a Putin. You're better than that. Yeah. He's going to go through.
You just want to see rock stars. Why don't you get back to arguing about musical differences and your girlfriends, like in Spinal Tap?
Right, Alex, you ready on the business?
I've been gone from this country for 3 years. What did you do to the Jamie's Italians? What happened? Were these money laundering fronts ultimately? Because when I was here, they were everywhere. You couldn't swing a dead chicken without hitting a Jamie's Italian. And that did he try to get you guys to eat marginally healthier, and in exchange you bankrupted every single one of his restaurants?
I can't legally say he wasn't money laundering, but I will say it's the only time someone has said Jamie Oliver was a real casualty of COVID. I've never that is your one takeaway from pandemic.
No, it's
when you return here, you were like, oh, have you survived? No, there's no Jamie's Kitchens anymore.
I'm just thinking.
Wow.
I'm glad it's gone. I don't want to pay £20 for 2 pounds of pasta, but I want to know how it happened, because there are just all these empty storefronts in Islington and places, tumbleweeds rolling past. I'm just curious.
They had one at Oslo Airport of all places.
See what you've done, Alex?
What's happened?
Yeah. Listen, coming to Panorama near you soon. Kay, what's your any other business?
Ice baths, man. Everybody's doing these ice baths.
Why?
Now,
Who is?
Like random accountants and people that work in recruitment now think they're elite athletes.
It's not one of those challenge things.
No, it's not even a challenge. People are buying these ice baths and putting it in their gardens and going out there.
Are they running marathons?
No,
they're just people.
They keep saying it's good for recovery, but it's like,
recovery from what?
Exactly. You do 3 gym sessions a week at most, right?
Yeah.
You do not need to get in an ice bath. You're not playing in the Premier League. You're not an NFL star. Stop doing it.
Right, stop. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, don't get me started. We'll save it for the podcast next year. There's a lot we need to talk about. Nat.
I went to Harry Potter World yesterday.
Right.
Except it's not called Harry Potter World. It's called Harry Potter Studio Tours.
Yeah.
And I didn't know before I went, and I thought there was going to be rides, and there wasn't any rides.
Yeah.
And it was still really good though. I still had a really good time. But you literally just walk around the sets, and I kept waiting to go around the corner for the roller coaster.
Wow.
There's no rides at Harry Potter Studio Tours. What there is though is a £27 Gryffindor scarf. £27 for a scarf.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I just want to let you all know, if you're ever going to go to Harry Potter Studio Tours, it was really good. The butterbeer is rank.
Yeah.
Butterbeer is
No, it's
rank.
right.
Isn't it like 15 quid as well?
just say,
It was £8.
Yeah.
Can I just say, thank you for doing the northern thing, like every time you come south. If it's not a Harry Potter scarf, it's a latte, but there'll be a complaint about the price. Do you know what I mean? It's just a thing. So, 26... You don't have to buy it. Just want to point that out. Like, there's no enforced buy-in when you come south. Alex has 48 points. Everybody else has 47. So who do you want to take on in the final?
I'm going to take on Kae.
No! There you go.
These guys have had too much success.
And Natalie, before you ask, because I know you're going to ask as soon as we leave the studio, yes, it does count towards Champion of Champions. You all get a second place finish, because I know you're going to ask me.
I'm not getting in that this year.
Right, 20 seconds to defend the indefensible. How gutted that we can't do Natalie's defend the indefensible. We'll obviously do it in the podcast extra, which you can download. Right, let's go American. It's Super Bowl weekend. Alex, never mind the GOAT. Tom Brady wasn't even the best quarterback to play for the New England Patriots.
Yes. Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe, whose career was ended by Kae has no idea who the heck that is. Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback before Tom Brady. He was knocked out of the game. The announcer said Tom Brady will come in now for as long as Drew Bledsoe is out. And Drew Bledsoe was out forever. But Drew Bledsoe moved back to Washington State.
That was more like a Wikipedia, right? But you filled the time. It was good.
Oh, I forgot that there's a time limit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I forgot there's a time limit.
He started his own wine brand. That's what I thought.
I'm just going to go double American here, because you know this and you're big into it. It was one of your answers. So I lied earlier, says Kae. As a basketball player, Michael Jordan wasn't fit to lace LeBron James' boots.
He wasn't. He played with a far superior team. He had Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen was doing all of the work. Whereas you see LeBron, he took Cleveland, a team that had no other great players in it, bar Kyrie Irving, who's a flat earther, and he took them to become champions. So he's far superior to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's just a shoe salesman that, hates kids.
By the way, I feel obliged to point out that's not why I dislike Kyrie Irving, the flat Earth thing.
Should really give it to Alex. He hasn't been on in 3 years, but I am going to give it to Kae Kurd. Yeah, I think you deserve it. I think you deserve it today.
Cheers,
I think you do. What a bizarre show. A very good one, but a bizarre one. We will do a podcast extra. You'll be able to pick that up as we head towards an afternoon of rugby and football on 5 Live Sport. It's the rugby that's arousing me. Mark Chapman.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear.